Hi everyone, my name is Lori, my nickname is Rini, and I'd like to welcome you to Rini Bobini Creations. If this is the first time you've stopped by to check out my channel, I'd like to offer you a very warm welcome. I do hope you like what you see, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing and sharing with your fellow crafters. If you are one of my amazing subscribers, I'm so happy that you're back, and I look forward to having more videos with you. So I do have to apologize, I did not get one uploaded last week. I was hoping I would be able to sneak one in, but I unfortunately had conferences on the weekend and all through the week, and I was away from home, and with all the work I had to do, I just couldn't get it done, so my apologies. And even this week, my workload's been pretty crazy at my day job. So I just have a quick one for you today, but I think you'll like it. I really was happy with how it turned out. But next week, I promise I'll have the little girl raincoat gnome. So if you were following the gnomes I was doing, she's almost done, almost edited. So we'll have that one up the following week. Anyway, so this week, my project is actually too big to put on my shelf like I usually do and show you. So I have upgraded my software program, and if it doesn't work, this is going to look really stupid, but this is what we'll be making. It's a nautical rug, so hopefully it shows up here. So let me stop yakking at you, and we'll get on with the crafting. So for today's craft, it's one I've been wanting to do for quite some time. I got this roll of rope just for 10 bucks at a garage sale or a thrift store or something. And I've been wanting to make sort of an outdoor area rug with it for a while. Now mine's got a little dirty on the end, so I'm just going to trim off the end. And then I did not bring out my lighter, but then we need to melt it. Now depending on the rope you're using, you may or may not need to do this step, but you want to make sure your end is not going to fray, so I'm going to go ahead and melt it with my lighter once I find what I did with it. Yeah, so it was right beside me the whole time, so I'm just going to melt my ends and the little, just to make sure it stays together for me. There we go. So now I've got this little piece of anti-slip. Now you can get the kind of mesh kind or whatever. Any one of those will work fine. You can do it to the whole back. I'm not. I just wanted sort of a starting point to sort of anchor the whole thing. So I'm gonna just, with my hot glue gun, I'm just gonna start by making a strip in the middle. Now I'm hoping I can film this good enough for y'all to see decent, and I've got shadow and everything else going on, but we'll try. So I'm just gonna start by running the bead right down the middle of my, now I'm not gonna lie, you are gonna need a boatload of glue for this. So I'm just gonna run it, and that's gonna be my center point. Now as you keep going, you're going to end up gluing where I've glued it to the bottom of this. We're going to end up gluing the rope to itself, except for in the middle part here where we'll anchor it to the bottom too, and that'll just give us a good foundation to start with. So then just carrying on, like I said, we're going to need a boatload of glue sticks. I'm just going to start going around. Let me just roll some here. Now I would say if you can find this backing in the same color rope as you get, in the same color as your rope, that might be a great thing to do, because it might hide, you know, things are a little bit not perfectly together. I couldn't find any, so we're just going to use what I got, and we'll just make it work. and we're going to start going around. So I finally got my carpet kind of where I want it. Mine's about 35 by 45. So now if you watched, I think it was last year or maybe even the year before, I did some deck pillows using some stuff from the dollar store, and I used these stencils to give it that beachy feeling. So I'm going to use the same stencils I used on that just to pull everything together. But to do that, I need to find center, which is actually quite easy because you've got this middle bit. And I just put my ruler on the middle bit and sort of slid it down to make it as centered as I could. Now you can be more precise than this if you wish. This is going to be fine for me. So the next thing we're going to do, now because it's a rough surface, our stencils are going to be a little bit finicky. Now you could go to the trouble of blocking everything off and use a spray paint. That would probably work very well. But I'm still in Alberta, it's very windy, and I don't have a garage, so spray paint isn't really an option for me right now. So instead, I've got my paint. Use whatever color works in your world. I've just taken a lid. You can of course use a roller thing too if you want to, but this will work fine and I have it handy. So I'm going to roll into the red. But I don't want a ton of paint on it. So I don't know if you can see, it's pretty sparse, but that's kind of what I want it to be. So then I'm just going to hold this down. And just roll over it. And that's going to give us the stencil without bleeding too much underneath. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to decide, I want more than what I've got here. I was just kind of measuring things out. So I think I'm going to do the starfish on either end, and I'm just going to work my way around. Alright, my roller just broke, so we are going to improvise. I will need gloves for this then. Okay, so now I've got some black and some white. I just want the white to make the gray and the blue, and I'll just use that to finish off our lighthouse here. And same kind of thing, just because it's smaller, but I don't want too much paint on. And then I'll get off as much as I can, and I'm going to go into the black. And then for the birds, I'm just going to add some white to the black just to kind of make them a bit grayer. I'm hoping the birds turn out. I'm a little bit concerned, but I can always freehand it if I have to after. I'm going to give it a quick spray of like a Scotch Guard or a waterproofing. I just happen to have some, so I'm just going to give it a quick spray. But that is our outdoor deck throw rug.